You make me want more, got me anticipating you more. Girl, I really, really want your body, the way you put it.
Thank you for watching the Community Spotlight. I'm your host, Atia Harris. Today we have a wonderful program for you. I'm excited. In the studio we have SCHELLE Purcell, Miss Black North Carolina. We're going to learn a little bit about beauty pageants today, what it takes to be a beauty pageant winner, and also some of her life experiences, because that's what led her to win. So how you doing today?
I am wonderful. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you so much for being on the program.
Oh, thank you. When I got the call, he was like, will you come? I said, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
wonderful. Okay, all right. So right now we're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Where are you originally from?
I am from Gulfport, Mississippi. Born and raised.
How'd you get here?
Hurricane Katrina blew me this way. I was over the youth ministry at my church in Mississippi, and after the storm, some of the youth from the church came to North Carolina, where I currently go to church at White Oak Baptist Church. Shout out to my pastor, Charles Tyner Sr.
Okay.
And I was like, you just send the kids up there, you don't send anybody to check on them. So I came to check on the kids. And I never made it back home.
All right, so you just fell in love with the city of Charlotte?
I did. Well, I actually live in Raleigh.
Okay.
So, been there ever since. I was like one of the first people to get a job. Things just started to kind of fall in place. So I said, well, Lord, if this is where I'm supposed to be, I guess.
Okay.
So I've been here ever since.
Well, North Carolina is definitely a great state.
It is.
All right, so you decided to bring the whole family.
I did. I have two wonderful daughters. I have a 19-year-old who is enrolled in UNC Charlotte. She's here.
Okay.
And I have a 6th grader who is dying to get to Charlotte with her sister.
All right, so tell us some of the things you started dabbling in when you first got here.
Church.
Okay.
That was comfortable for me. So I started working immediately in the youth ministry at White Oak, and my pastor kind of just said, do what you do, and I did. I started working with the liturgical dance ministry.
Okay.
I got in the choir. I just got active there because that was comfortable for me, and just kind of.
Go ahead.
Just kind of made everything feel good, and if this was going to be my home, I had to make the best of it. Now, there were times where I wanted to go back to Mississippi, but there was really nothing to go back to at the time, so I had to make the best of it, and I did.
So where did beauty pageant come into play? Were you doing beauty pageants in Mississippi, or?
No, I was
Okay.
bullied.
You was bullied?
I was
Oh, my
bullied
goodness.
into this pageant. My younger daughter won the pageant under Norray Production. She was the Junior Miss Talented Teen of Wake County. So after her pageant, my name was kind of thrown in there, and they said, I signed you up.
Wow.
Really? Okay. So, okay. I never was in. I was an ugly child. I was skinny.
That's hard to believe.
I was skinny. I had big teeth. Thank you, Lord, for braces. Thank you, Mama, for spending the money. I had the biggest glasses ever, like, those red glasses that Sally Jesse Raphael used to wear. I had those, and it was like they were all of this was hanging on this little bitty body. So I was just pitiful.
So when did you turn into a swan?
I think it was like, no, when the braces came off and my mother said, we can get you some contacts now. And then my hair started growing, and I realized that if I couldn't grow it, I could sew it, and all kind of things like that made it possible for me to kind of transform and be who it is. Because, without this luxurious hair, I'm still cute.
Yeah,
So,
well, you did a great job. Can I give you that compliment?
Thank you.
All right, so let's go back to the beauty pageant. This is a very unique story. You were just thrown in.
yes, and
Okay.
I said, okay, I'll do it. And I was nervous. I'm hardly ever nervous because I have a production company and I do stage plays, and I love entertaining people. But this pageant thing was just like, oh, if you lose, then you lost.
So it wasn't a fear of the unexpected. It was the fear of losing.
I didn't want to lose. How
Okay.
you tell you? Mama, I lost the pageant. How you say that? They done sent money and bought ads and everything. So it's just like, you have to give it 100%. And I did. And I'm very thankful for Norray Productions. Anthony Van is the founder of the organization. So it was just an opportunity when I did win to promote myself and be out there for the community. And I didn't even know there was a Mrs. Black North Carolina, but I am her.
All right, so let's pause for a little bit, Miss Black North Carolina.
Yes.
Let's pause for a little bit. So what did they want you to do in this pageant? I mean, this is the unexpected. You're thrown in there for the first time. What type of categories? You had to have the mindset because you're very competitive. I am going to win. So psychology starts coming into play.
Yes. Well, we had to do an opening number, and I'm thankful that it was a song that I happen to like. We opened to Justin Timberlake's Suit and Tie.
Okay.
So that was good. Once I got past the opening and not falling down out there with, you know, the other contestants, we had a casual wear category. We had a talent. We had a, we didn't have fitness. We had casual wear, talent, evening gown, and you had an on-stage question. And you also had to meet with the judges and do an interview.
Okay.
And you had to talk about your community service platform. And that was my nonprofit organization called My Team. And that's, what is it? Mentoring youth through arts and education. So I talked about how I implemented it in the community with the Boys and Girls Clubs and different organizations, you know, privately with, you know, plays and things that I did, you know, that I was comfortable with. So I can write a script and I can change a bad situation into a good situation with humor and drama. So I took that tool into the community and I explained that to the judges, and I scored the highest on my interview.
Okay, great.
So I got a little trophy for that. And at the end of the pageant, I came out there in that gown trying not to fall. And when they said that I had won, I think I might have pulled a tear.
I want to know what you did as a talent.
I wrote a monologue.
Okay.
I wrote a monologue.
So acting.
I love acting.
Okay, wonderful.
I love it. I love writing and producing. I just love the whole entertainment industry, and especially acting, because it allows me to be different people.
So was it something very energetic because you're naturally energetic?
No, it was all drama filled. It was about domestic violence, and I came out in this beautiful wedding gown, and I had on a veil, and after I did my intro, I released my veil, and I was beaten up in the face.
Wow.
And I closed out with, you know, some statistics about domestic violence, and at last the song by Etta James started playing as I turned to walk away, and I had them scratch the song as if I'm not at last nothing, and I threw my veil on the stage and I walked off, and that was the end of that domestic violence.
Okay, wonderful.
It was good.
That's wonderful. All right, so what was the question they asked you? What was your...
I don't know. I can't even remember. I said something about the Lord.
You said something about the
Black
Lord?
people, we love to hear about Jesus. When I said something about Jesus, I knew I had it. I just said something about God, and they were clapping, and I was like, thank you for that question. Went back.
Okay, so let's go to the production company. So you're an entrepreneur, which I love. I just absolutely love everything about being in business.
Yes.
Okay, tell us how you started that.
Well, in 2007, I mean, I never wanted to be a writer. I can't even tell you what I made in English in high school, college, and none of that. So I knew my writing had to be something that God gave me, because never wanted to write. Never, ever. And I just started putting together these stories. I wanted to go home.
Okay,
so
to Mississippi.
Back to Mississippi. But I knew I couldn't, so out of frustration, I just started writing. And I came up with my first stage play, which was Before the Bell Rings, and it consisted of 10 students who all had different situations going on that our youth were facing.
Okay.
And they got this substitute teacher whom I played one of the couple of times we did it. And she was this quirky, colorful, just mess. She was a mess. Excuse me. And she fell in love with the principal at the school. And one of the students represented teen pregnancy. One was in a domestic violence relationship as a teen. One of them was a radical praiser. One of them was dealing with racial issues. Like, she was the only white girl in the classroom. I mean, everything that I felt like our kids were going through at that time. And once I did that very first production, the response that I got from parents and children, they were like, oh my God, that was me, or you have no idea what that play did for my child. It gave them a tool to take home with them on the ride home. It was like I asked my kid, you know, who did you think you were in the production? And I was like, oh, people pay money. And let me see if I can do that again. So I just continued to write, and I think I've done 7 successful stage plays, and I toured them in our area. I always go back home to Mississippi.
Kind of like in the Raleigh and Mississippi area?
Yes, and we've been to Fayetteville, we've been to Rocky Mount. I just go where I where I can afford to go.
right.
I was going to tell you the wrong thing. I go where I can afford to go.
So do you have one you're working on now?
Right now, I'm into film more.
Okay.
I'm filming.
So it's kind of like a graduation.
Yes, and I'm
Okay.
excited about it. I wrote 3 short films,
Okay.
and we're on the 3rd one. It's called Color of Love. The first one was called The Vows. It's gone off to a couple of film festivals. The second one I did was called 5 Little Girls, and I'm working on my 3rd one, which is called Color of Love. And these 3 will lead up to my feature film that I'm going to shoot this fall called Two Wrongs.
Okay, tell us a little bit about Two Wrongs.
Okay.
You don't have to give it all, just give us a little bit.
Two Wrongs is about a couple who, the husband has an affair with the first lady of the church.
Ooh.
Yes, and the first lady has an addiction that is not revealed until later on. But the wife,
I can guess what that, okay, never mind.
the wife fights it and fights it and fights it, so where she does not have an affair with pastor, but it happens.
Okay.
And she's pregnant.
Uh-oh.
And
Uh-oh, now this is a serious.
it's very serious
Yeah.
because you're talking about the pastor.
Now we
and
don't know who is the baby's
You don't,
daddy.
but her best friend, who is an attorney, that suggested to her, a couple of things about finding out, getting the proof that your husband is cheating on you, didn't know that the proof would reveal that she was sleeping with her husband as well, her best friend.
Wow.
And her best friend ends up pregnant.
Oh, it's a lot of, is
It's
this
a
soap
drama.
opera?
It's a drama now.
Did you watch some soap operas before you wrote this?
I
How did you
didn't.
come up with that?
My family, my dad will say to me in a minute, baby, we have insurance.
Okay.
If you want to sit down on somebody's couch, I promise you, it'll stay in the family. But I said, Dad, there's nothing wrong with me. Just gifted like that. And when stories come to me, I can immediately write. I can write the beginning, the middle, and the end.
Okay.
And
all right.
when people read it, like we always do a table read, or I always share it with someone close to me to see, what they think. They always ask me, what's wrong with you? I was like, why something gotta be wrong with me? They wonder like if I'm going through something, but I'm fine. Why can't I just be creative? And that's what I charge you to, being creative.
So do you have in mind who you're going to cast?
I do.
So you already have people selected?
I have some of them selected. I'm going to do a casting call for some of the other people. I've been using this casting site, and I've gotten a lot of good talent from
that's great.
from my last 3 short films. So, but when I get ready to do my feature, I'll have an even bigger budget, and I'll be able to, get people that I really, want in the film.
So
And
what
I'm
do you
excited.
think the reaction would be from the church? You think the church would be excited to
Well,
have that play?
my church family has been the most supportive group of people. I'm talking about from my first play to now. I can go, for the second short film we did, 5 Little Girls, I turned the fellowship hall at church into a rehab facility for
Okay.
mentally disturbed people.
Okay.
So my pastor is like, whatever you want to do it, do it.
Just let the creativity flow.
Let it flow.
All
He
right.
said, if you don't make it, it won't be because you ain't tried. Lord have mercy.
Well, that's an interesting thing because there's definitely issues in churches and different types of religions and synagogues when it comes to different inappropriate sexual behavior. But a lot of people love to sweep that underneath the rug.
They
and
do.
So now you're saying, hey, it's
Here
in your
it is.
face.
Here it
But
is.
the pastor's wife,
I
That's a
don't think I
twist.
told Pastor about Two Wrongs. He don't know about that one yet.
no.
About that one yet. But
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited to where my career is going with my production company. I meet so many new people, and it's really good to meet people who are not selfish.
Okay.
Because they see that you're hungry for it. And when someone sees that you're genuinely hungry, chasing your dreams, they want to help you. And I've not met a person yet that has tried to hold me back.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. So are you just mainly the writer, or are you learning behind the scenes as well?
I'm learning everything I can. I've been working with a young man here in Charlotte named Vince Stitt. And Vince, he's one of those open books to where, I'm going to help you because I see where you're trying to go. I've worked with great people. One of the directors that I've worked with in the Cary area, James House. House is like that as well. He's like, I'm going to teach you everything I can because when you're hungry, and when you get out there, you have to know, or they're going to eat you alive. So I pretend like I know everything. Yes, I know how to do that. What are you talking about?
So let's talk about some of the things that you're learning right now.
Well, behind the scenes, I'm learning different things with different cameras. I'm learning some different things with editing. I just learned what the 180 rule is. When you're on one side of the camera and you flip the camera, you can't move yourself to the other side. And I'm looking at stuff like, I didn't know that. Okay. And then I find myself critiquing movies all the time. I wouldn't have never done that.
Well, the interesting thing is when you start playing with entertainment behind the scenes and you're watching television, now you start noticing some stuff.
I'm like, I find myself critiquing Tyler.
Okay.
I'll tell Tyler in a minute in the movie theater.
I'm staying away from that.
He didn't hear me. I could be in the back of the movie theater saying everything. I'm right, Tyler, you know you should have put that lady. But he's a creative genius. And I did a YouTube shout out to him. I created like 5 different characters. And each one of those characters told Tyler Perry about SCHELLE PURCELL.
Okay.
It was hilarious. I did a grandmother. I did like a ghetto girl. I did a mechanic. I did a psycho girl. It was hilarious.
Is all that in you?
Some of these people exist.
And how did they get there? Tell me how they got there.
Whoever comes up, that's who comes out. I know how to be professional. I have a 9-to-5 where I give my all. And when I leave there, my juices start to flow for HWF Productions.
So 5 years from now, what do you see your production company doing?
I plan to be on the big screen. SCHELLE PURCELL, my name will be there somewhere, some shape, form. If I have to buy a screen and put it up myself, I'm going to be there because I have the drive. I never get tired of chasing my dreams. And the more I plan and I do a goal list. Once I've reached one of those short-term goals, I mark it off and then I add something else to it. And it just continues to give me that drive. And with my kids and my family being so supportive, they're my biggest cheerleaders. Some of my closest friends, some of my church family members, they're my biggest supporters.
Let's kind of shift to the business side a little bit because this is a serious vision that you have 5 years down the line, you know. I was talking to a friend of mine that wants to do a reality show, and she has all these great ideas, and there are investors that are willing to invest in projects such as what you're talking about, but of course you have to show them how they're going to make their money back. You have to have a great business plan and tighten it up. What are you doing to learn that side of the table?
At our church, we have one of everything. We have educators, we have bankers, we're that church that is all in the community. So there's not one person that I couldn't go to and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. And the crazy thing is, if they don't know how to do it, they know someone that does know how to do it. And that's why I'm so in love with my church family, because they see where I'm trying to go. And
that's a blessing
push.
To have a pool of people around you that's willing to share
Yes.
and help advance. That's definitely a great thing.
Yes, I love it.
All right, so now that you have these productions, that's definitely the next piece to be added to the puzzle. You know, how can we make money? What's the different ways we can make money? You got Redbox, Netflix.
Yes.
You have the regular movie theaters. You have television.
You have
iTunes, international.
Yes. You have everything. There's no avenue that I don't plan to touch to showcase who I am. That's my goal for this year, is to have SCHELLE PURCELL's name being said somewhere except
branded.
Yes, brand me. That's
Okay.
what I'm doing.
All right. Give us some of the things you're doing to brand.
I'm getting ready to do a talk show as well.
Okay. Is it radio or TV?
It's TV. I love a camera.
I know.
I love it. I do.
It's okay.
I do. The name of the talk show
You
is
look
called,
good on camera, so
Thank
that's
you.
great. Yeah.
Thank you. It's called Love Line, and it's I'm going to be recruiting couples who feel like their relationship is at, they've had it, they're at their wits end, but don't throw in the towel. Let me throw you this love line before you do that, and we're going to talk about
Good luck. No.
We're going to talk love, sex, marriage. It's going to be on late night in case I say a cuss word, and I won't get into too much trouble.
Where your pastor at?
Oh, he know my heart.
Okay,
he know.
okay.
I
All
have
right,
to
we'll
ask
leave
him
that
for
alone.
a pass. Pastor, give me a pass. I'm not going to say a big cuss word. It's going to be one of them little ones. Is there such a thing as a little cuss word?
I guess if you want to call it
Yeah.
that.
I'm
All right,
gonna
so
get
let's
some
get
little
into
ones.
this TV show.
Yes. We'll start filming that in June.
Okay.
And my website is almost done for it. We'll be, soliciting couples, and I'm going to just try and save their relationship.
Okay, that's going to be very unique.
It is, and I'm going to have special
You may not
guests.
get to the end of that show, though. Once they start going back and forth, it might not be an end.
I hope to just help people stay in love. It's just something about being in love that just, I just love. I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm that person who thinks of little cute, silly stuff to do to make the person that you're with say, man, I love her.
Okay.
Golly.
We might need to role play a little bit of that right now.
I'm
A little
ready.
bit.
You know I live for the camera.
Okay, I'll just ask you the questions and you do the monologue with it.
Okay.
Okay, so on this show, if you have a person, let's talk about some of the common issues in relationships.
Okay.
I'm going to bring up some of the top reasons for divorce.
Okay.
One of them is, of course, cheating is always number one. We're going to wait on that. Difference in religion. How do you deal with that?
Well, you go to your church, baby, and then I'm going to go to mine. And then when we come back, we're going to eat dinner and go have sex.
Okay, all right.
Can I say that on your show?
Yeah, you can say
Okay,
that.
okay.
Okay.
Because we married.
Cheating.
Cheating. Why would you be out there cheating? See, this is my thing with cheating. You have to find out what it is that you were not doing that led that person to the other person.
So you're not going to blame the cheater. You're going to blame the other mate?
I'm not blaming anyone because
Okay.
both people are responsible for what has gone on. But I need to know, like if you were the one who stepped out, I'm going to ask your man, what were you so occupied with that another man was able to get her attention? Was she out
Well, that's a
giving
great
interviews? Right, and you weren't there holding her bag, and when she come off stage, he saw that she kissed somebody. I mean, you have to be accountable. Where were you, sir?
Okay.
That's what I'm going to ask him.
All right, what would you say to the cheater?
You so full of yourself. Who do you think you are out there trying to cheat on somebody? No, I'm kidding. What was it that you were missing? What was it that that person did to get your attention that could pull you away from your man? That's your man.
Let me ask you this question. What would what would you say to a person that say, hey, I'm in love with somebody and I want to relocate to another area to be with that individual?
I would say make sure you have your own stuff at first. Your own job, your own place to stay, your own car, your own everything. Because if you go there and it don't work out, you're going to have to be shipped back home. But if you go there and it doesn't work out, you still have your own job, your
I'm
own
glad
money.
you said that because I've seen a lot of those lately and they haven't been working out.
Oh, yeah. You got to go
Somebody
with a
uproot
plan.
their whole life.
Yes. But see, if
Okay.
you go there on those terms, baby, I'm going to stay. I found my own place. I'm going to stay there for 6 months. And, you know, you come spend the night at my house. I come spend the night at your house. And if it doesn't work out, you can still stay at your house.
Okay.
See?
I think we can listen to you a little
Girl,
bit.
I'm going to have that show on fire.
All right, the book. Tell us about the book.
Who told you I wrote a book? Did I tell you that?
Yes, you did.
Let me tell you about my book. My book is called Open Your Eyes. I released it in 2011. And I wrote it during a time where I said that I was going to be abstaining from sex. Wasn't
Okay.
going on any more dates. I made a deal with the Lord. I said, Lord, I'm through with it. If you send me a husband, I promise you, no more of that old silly stuff, that hot girl stuff.
Uh-oh.
That's what I did.
So what is in this book?
Girl frustration. Frustration on 10 different levels.
Hold
That's
up.
my truth.
Snippets. We want some snippets. What's in this book?
It's about a young lady. Her name is Wendy, and she has these fantasies in her mind, no
Okay.
matter where she is. And if she doesn't, you know, release herself and open her eyes from these fantasies.
Now I know where I met you at before.
Wait, where was I? Wait.
When you was marketing this book.
Did you?
Yes, I did. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. Did you get a copy? Because I keep them in my car. I will
No,
sell
but
you a
the
book.
guys were holding on to them. They didn't want to let the book go. What's in the book?
It's so nasty. I'm sorry.
And you told your pastor about it.
I did. My pastor has a copy of it. I told him don't read it.
You told him don't
You
read
better not read this book. But I autographed him a copy and I put it on his desk and he took it home, and it was an accomplishment. It was
Okay.
something that I accomplished from moving, you know, from
So you let all
here to
these
there.
frustrations out during that time period,
did.
back to the writing.
I did.
In the book.
I did. And then
Okay.
I went on a blind date and I fell in love and I got married.
Wow.
And hey, the Lord was good. I was obedient.
Okay.
Wrote that book, sold those copies, got my husband, and there it went.
Okay. All right. So how long did you date before you got married?
About 8 months.
8 months. That's not bad. That's
It's
pretty good.
not. But let me
That's
tell you what I
pretty
did.
good. Okay.
I made my husband gumbo, and we watched Princess and the Frog with my daughters.
Okay.
The next month, 30 days, he was like, yeah, I got to have some more of that gumbo. I got to have her on a full-time basis. And I love her girls. And we got
Oh, that's
married.
a blessing. That is a true blessing.
And he did. He went home with me, and he asked my parents without me knowing. And my daughters, they set me up to go over to his house. They were like, would you just go?
And it's a never a dull moment in your house, is it?
It's never a dull moment. I
All
just
right.
believe that laughter is just so refreshing. And, you know, you laugh through the worst of times. And I enjoy life. Why you got to be mad all the time?
So has any of this talent spilled over into the children?
Yes.
Okay,
They just
what are
silly.
they doing?
They just silly. And it's crazy because sometimes I see myself in them and some of the things that they say. Oh, Lord, look at Shell. Lord, have mercy. What have you done to these children? But I love my girls. They are my world. They are why I grind so hard. And I tell them all the time, it's going to be a day, baby. We're going to be on the red carpet tearing it up.
All right, so you are an awesome individual, very
you.
lively, vibrant.
Thank
very.
you.
It's hard to make me laugh now, and you made me laugh.
Thank
I
you.
want to give everyone a little lesson here before we go off the air.
Okay.
Before, you probably were kind of shy.
I was.
Were you younger?
Because I was ugly.
How did you transition
Well, when I started thinking
to
I
being
was
so outgoing?
when I started thinking I was halfway cute now.
Okay.
And I've never met a stranger.
Okay.
And that's my thing. And even if you try to be ugly or mean or whatever it is to me, I'm either gonna make you smile or I'm gonna tell you, check your attitude. Life is too short. God is not happy with you acting a fool in this grocery line, wherever it is. And then it makes people think, you know, are you happy all the time? No, I'm not. But when I am out and I'm displaying this, if a little bit of it flow over on you, I'm good.
All right. So you guys have been listening to Mrs. Black, North Carolina. And, you know, just an awesome time with her here today in the studio. And all the lessons that we learned from you is, number one, it doesn't matter if you're shy, you're introverted. You can actually wind up being extroverted.
You can.
That was me a little bit.
Really?
But money made me talk.
Hello.
When I started getting in the sales, I had to talk to get that money.
Well,
Okay, and so now you're very accomplished, Mrs. Black, North Carolina.
I love it.
Also, you have your own company.
I love it.
You are married.
I am.
With children.
Yes, Lord.
Super successful.
Thank you.
I think awesome testimony for folks to see out there.
Yeah.
That regardless what your dreams are, the sky's the limit and you could do it.
You can.
All right, but you have to put some elbow grease in
You
there.
sure do. And I'm tired all the time. It's because I'm chasing my dreams. And I don't care about being tired. Give me some water and keep it moving.
Okay. All right. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Community Spotlight. I'm your host, Tia Harris. Tune in next week, same time, same place. We always deliver awesome, great information to you by wonderful guests that come into the studio and share their experiences with us, and also expertise and education. So we look forward to you viewing the program again.